Now I'm going to start talking about using the spear offensively, and that's of course the thrust. We have to ensure that we understand the range to the target, and then we have to understand and practice hitting targets from range and hitting with the proper power. If it's a face thrust, it's of course light. If it's a body thrust, then it's got to be more stout. The basic idea behind fundamental thrust with a spear has got to be the backhand generates the forward momentum and the forward motion to the spear, right? And then the front hand is more of a guide and creates a sleeve where I have a loose grip. It's fully encapsulating around the fiberglass shaft, but it's loose. It's like a sleeve so that I can piston pump that spear and move the head wherever I want it to go, okay? So to practice range, we want to put the spear on the target. And the first thrust technique is we're going to thrust and slide with our hand, and our finish has got to be looking just like I have here. So I'm in guard, thrust out, boom. So my hands stay on the shaft. We can back up a little bit, and then we can lunge with the front foot. Same exact thrust, but that lunge gives us a little bit extra range, okay? That's the first fundamental thrust routines. The next one is going to be where we drop the top hand, and that allows us to extend forward farther because now it's not defined by the length of our front hand. So we can rotate our body and get extra range. So we check range. All right, so I'm holding it. All right, so now I can't, see how I can't grab the spear shaft with my front hand because I rotated my shoulders past that point where I have to let go. So the way we do that thrust is we continue to have the hand, the front hand on that shaft until we have to let go so that we can hit, finish hitting and gain that extra range, right? So here I wouldn't hit it, but I now drop that hand as I finish rotating. See? Just like that. And then of course, if we want even more range, we thrust, we lunge, and then we drop that front hand and rotate our body forward even more. And pull it back. Okay? This gets harder, and with the lunge it's even more harder. And you got to practice this a lot because you have to have the control with the power to the target, and then that formalized with the range too, so that you're not hitting too light or too hard or not at all. So those are the 2 times 2 or 4 primary methods of thrusting with a spear. There are advanced methods as well. There's also different targets that you use, right? There's the face, there's a face plate but a little to the side, to both sides. There's the hip target, belly target, the chest targets, leg, upper leg targets, right? And there's a lot of different thoughts and ideas that spearmen have on what are the easiest targets to hit. Generally, for me, it's the face. It's got to be center mass. Anything on the legs gets pretty hard because even if you hit, it wants to slide off. But that back leg, if you have an opponent, if they're more rooted in that back leg, this one's easier to land. This one, as it comes in, all they have to do is that. This one's harder, this back one's harder to move. Face, center mass, front hip, whatever their front hip is, etc., etc. So practice all this, guys. You got to do it.